check this out. Hey guys, welcome back. As you can see in front of me right now, I have an iMac G3, which is a computer I've wanted for so long. I got it with the original box and everything. It comes with a keyboard and the hockey puck mouse, and this really cool desk as well, which is translucent blue plastic that totally matches the computer. And I've wanted an iMac G3 for years, and I finally have one. I've had an iMac for a few years, and I love that thing, but it's not an iMac, and this is a 350 megahertz slot load Blueberry model, which would have been the good. Apple, with their iMacs, had a good, better, best. The good was the iMac, this one. The better was the iMac DV, and then there was a DV Special Edition, which was the best, so the DV would have been the better. One issue, though, when I was going to get this iMac, I got it local. I wanted to test one thing, and that was if this CD drive worked, because they were pretty failure-prone, and it totally ate the disc. Luckily, I kind of saw this coming, so I brought a disc I didn't really care about, a Mac Addict The Disc. I got a whole big set of them from one of my dad's friends, but I don't use them very much, so I figured it wouldn't be the end of the world if it ate the disc. And it ate the disc. It wouldn't eject and it wouldn't read it. But this doesn't have a dedicated eject button on the keyboard, so I could plug in another keyboard that does. But first, I'm holding. Okay, is that working? Maybe. Although, unfortunately, it's not booting now. There we go. That's a loud hard drive. It's a 6 gig drive. I couldn't really tell from the listing. Oh, this CRT is great. It has a great refresh rate. My second CRT, I have an iMac, and that's it. So this is a pretty slow hard drive. So either it's failing, or it's just a slow hard drive. This is a totally clean install of macOS 9.2 as well. It doesn't have any crapware extensions or anything bogging it down. Actually, that's not bad at all for a startup time. Hopefully this disk will actually go and eject. I held down on the mouse on startup and it sounded like it was trying. Okay, it's reading the disk now, Mac Addict 18. So the disk drive isn't dead, it's just having eject issues. So I'm gonna, now that it wasn't reading it before, now that it's actually reading it, I'm gonna not the end of the world. First of all, I gotta do this. Platinum sounds. Yeah, platinum sound effects. Awesome. I don't care if this disc gets slightly damaged, because I don't care much about this disc. I'm going to try to eject it, and then I'm going to reach in with some tweezers and see what it does. Hey! Haha, yes, I got the disc out. I didn't really damage it either, so that is relieving. So I can get discs out. I just have to be careful. So I can install OS 10 on this. Not that it would run all that well. As you can see, it has pretty much nothing in it. It has... Oh, actually it does. It does. It has AppleWorks. There's AppleWorks 6. Sweet. So this was probably restored from this iMac's original restore disk, which unfortunately I don't have in the box with it. That's fine. So yeah, it has AppleWorks, Outlook Express, and iTunes. What? Sweet, we have iTunes on here. I could tell this display refresh is great. This is a beautiful display. No, don't search the hard disk. Alright, we got iTunes. That would be iTunes version 2. Hockey puck mouse isn't great for ergonomics, but it's honestly, besides the actual shape, this is actually a pretty good mouse. No right click or scroll wheel, but it feels solid. Nothing in documents besides the iTunes folder. Apple Extras, what's in here? Simple Sound, Notepad, and Register. Airport stuff. Hard drive spin down control strip. Internet applications, what do we have in here? Earthlink, total access. That seemed like a popular Mac thing. All these Mac Addict discs also, like, advertised to have Earthlink. QuickTime, of course. Security. Apple stuff. So yeah, basically just the basic stuff you get on a clean install of OS 9. And probably from the original disk as well. So that is nice. Alright. Let's check. Can I find... I want to find disk first aid, or... Let me actually stick a Mac OS 9 disk. I don't know. I want to upgrade this thing's hard drive. Alright, I've got the iMac open because I want to upgrade the hard drive, which is right back here. I have a 40 gigabyte Western Digital drive I'm going to be putting in, and so I just wanted to get that done. Another thing to note when doing this is inside there you can see the CRT. It's also accessible in there and on the other side. Now, if you do something dumb and stick a metal screwdriver back there, you're going to electrocute yourself, and you don't want to do that, unless it's been unplugged for a while, which this one hasn't. Probably over 20 minutes, but luckily, you don't have to, if you know what you're doing, you don't have to mess with the CRT at all to get the hard drive out of here, which is what I'm doing right now. So yeah, don't stick your fingers in there. Because while I'm in here, I gotta remove that clock battery. It's dead, unsurprisingly, and until I get a replacement, it's just best to remove it so it doesn't end up leaking. So that's what the inside of an iMac G3 looks like. I'm pretty sure that that's part of the power supply, so I'm not gonna mess with anything in there, because that could still have some charge in it. All-in-ones with CRTs are not the safest to work on if you're stupid. They're not idiot-proof, which is why it's designed so that the RAM's easily accessible, but you gotta go further in to get to the hard drive. But I want this hard drive upgraded, so I'm doing that now. Actually, I'm pretty sure this bit in here is just what charges the CRT. I'm pretty sure the power supply would be up near the power port. Yeah, behind there. So yeah, still don't want to touch that either, but yeah, at least you're not dealing with mains. But I'm gonna need 2 hands to get this out. Alright, I got this old clunker out. It's a Western Digital Caviar 68AA 6 gig. There's the back. Yeah, I'll test if this drive's still good. But for now, it's going on the shelf. But this computer will be happy to know that this Western Digital right here is being replaced with another Western Digital. Except a newer one from 2004. That's a 40 gig drive. So I'm going to go get that. Well, I successfully upgraded the hard drive without electrocuting myself, so let's see if this thing still works. Hey! Of course, now it doesn't have an operating system on it. So I've got Mac OS 9.2.1 on a burned disk. This is the real test, is it can actually read a burned disk, and even more challenging, boot from it. Old Macs are really, really bad at booting from burned disks. So let's see if we're gonna have luck. My iBook clamshells can do it, but is this thing gonna do it? Staying on the Finder logo. Yes! Okay. Yay, happy Mac. Okay, so let's hope that it recognizes our hard drive. Alright. Let's go to Utilities, Drive Setup. Not initialized. Sweet. Alright. But actually, I don't want to do that. I'm actually going to boot into an OS X installer. And that is so that I can dual partition this. So, I'm going to reboot into that. Oh, well. I'm going to need to eject the disk first, aren't I? Burn these disks on an iBook G4, so they should work. Alright, let's see this guy. It's actually going to take a minute to boot into OS X. Alright, good. It's going to take a minute to boot into OS X, so I'm going to let it do that. And then I'll check back with you guys. Alright, we are now booted into the installer of OS X 10.3 Panther. It's always weird saying OS X 10.3 Panther. Or whatever version. Here we are. However, I'm going to need to open up Disk Utility. Panther is the newest officially supported operating system this can run. I'm using just a burned disk because I don't have a physical copy. Yeah, I have a physical copy of Jaguar, but Panther's better, so I'm using that. Plus, I really don't want to risk an official install disk to this CD drive. But it seems to be working perfectly, so that's good. The reason why I want to boot and install OS X first is because I have access to Disk Utility, and using Disk Utility, I can create 2 partitions to install Mac OS 9 on. So this is just formatted as Mac OS X Extended, not journaled. So I'll make a note of that. I am going to create a 2-partition system with equal space on each one. I'll call one iMac HD OS 9, and I'll call the other one iMac HD OS 10. The OS 9 one I'll make just Mac OS X Extended, and I'll install Mac OS 9 drivers on both. 40 gigs should be plenty for an old iMac like this. Alright, there we go. Now I can exit out of that. CRT, like, gets a little bigger and smaller depending on what window I have open. It's barely noticeable, but kind of funny. Alright, so let's see if we meet the system requirements. A PowerPC G3, G4, or G5 processor. Yep, I've got a G3. Built-in USB. Indeed I do. Also, G5, this will probably be the first version of OS X to make reference of that. I have at least 128 megabytes of RAM. I actually have 384, which should be plenty, but I'm going to try to stick a whole gigabyte in here to max it out later. A built-in display or a display connected to an Apple-supplied video card supported by your computer. CRT, I'm pretty sure that would work fine. At least 2 gigs of disk space available, or 3.5 gigs if you install the developer tools. I have 20 gigs available. Blah 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 blah, firmware updates, whatever. Alright. OS X. I'm going to configure some options. Oh, can I not? Okay, customize. Here we go. Here is where I can get rid of Internet Explorer. I can disable all the printer drivers because I'm never using a printer with this computer. At least no printer that would have drivers supplied on an OS X disk. I'll install the additional speech voices. I find them funny. Fonts. Additional Asian languages. Don't need that. Language translations. Don't need Japanese, German, French, Spanish, Italian. Don't really need any of these, in fact. I'll actually keep simplified Chinese because I take Chinese in school, so might be funny. Should I install X11? Yeah, why not? Alright. If it just doesn't work, I'll find out soon enough. Alright. So this is probably going to take at least an hour, so I'm going to have to swap in discs, which is going to be challenging. I'm going to have to keep a close watch on this thing because it auto-ejects, and if it fails to eject, if I miss it ejecting a disc, then I'm going to be in trouble because I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it to eject again. So I'll have to hurry over when I hear the whining sound this thing's poor optical drive makes. But yes, we are getting this thing upgraded already, which is super nice. Alright, I've gotten through the OS X installation, so I'm just going to get this thing set up. Ah, great. The registration information. Electric outlet with numbers 123 Fake Street. The classic city is Apple Talk. Sure, whatever. That makes no sense. Wyoming, I guess, for the state. And the zip code is 12345. Area code 123 456 7890. Ah. 321 then. That better work. Okay. Whoa. Lots of options here. They've specified the amount of employees. Home is fine. Video film, I guess. I would not like to receive Apple News. And that's it. These old setups are kind of annoying. I like to just be electric with this. Password, I'll type one of those in. Password hint, as it said right there, has to be optional. And for this, go with this flower. Alright, sweet. I'm not ready to connect to the internet. They are really pushing Earthlink on us, aren't they? And I'll register later, but I won't register at all. Okay, today's date, 2021. It's the 14th. The time is 9:32. It's pretty late. And we're done. This should feel a lot smoother on OS X than my iBook clamshells do because those only have 4 megabytes of video RAM. This guy has 8, so it should be a whole lot faster. At least as far as animations are concerned. Does F12 eject? Yes, it does. Alright, disk out. I'm of course going to install OS 9 next, and I'm probably going to set that as the default boot drive. This can do 1024 by 768 at 75 Hz, which is still better than your generic PC monitor. 800 by 600 though feels a lot smoother, but I'm setting it at the higher resolution. I might set it at 800 by 600 in OS 9, but not OS 10. Alright, for a true performance test, I'm going to adjust the dock to the way I like it, smaller, and dock magnification. That's actually pretty smooth, considering this is an iMac G3. So yeah, definitely smoother than an iBook. I'd like to see this thing even try to run the Leopard dock. That would not go well. The Leopard dock can bring 32 megabyte graphics chips to its knees. I have an iBook G4. Alright, we've got all our apps here. Sweet. I, of course, need to do all the software updates, the combo update, and all that. So, I'm not going to hook this up to the internet. The Panther update servers are offline. Tiger works, though. Also, do you notice that? Can you see that on the camera? When I open up About This Mac, the CRT almost looks like it gets a teeny bit bigger. Like, not the CRT, but like the resolution. When I close it, it almost seems like it gets smaller a bit. It's a bit hard to notice. I don't notice that on my iMac, though, so that must just be a quirk of the original iMac or this particular CRT. It looks really nice, though. This is a really good, high-quality display. Now, I'm going to pop in my OS 921 install medium into our funky, whiny optical drive and install OS 9, which shouldn't take very long. I love the sound of this thing CRT initializing. It sounds so much more clunky than my iMac. Okay, we're going to stop rebuilding the desktop file because that's pretty pointless. Alright, we should be able to just go to macOS install on this guy. I don't have to actually stay here the whole time because I don't have to do any disk swapping. If I left while it was installing OS 10, it would have just gone into a constant eject cycle, and I don't want that to happen because it could make the mechanism even worse. Alright, select, continue, I agree, totally read the whole thing. Can I customize? Yay, alright, let's see what we can remove. Nothing, I think that I'm going to keep all of this, actually. Doesn't look like this has an airport card. I don't even know where you'd insert one. But it said on the box this is airport ready, so I must have one. Apple hard disk drivers. 20 minutes? Oh, I think this is the full install, not just the hard disk drivers. This isn't an original hard drive. But it should work. I just took it out of a PC tower that died due to its capacitors. It's no longer being used. So, I'll be back when this finishes. Alright, so I've got it up and running. No intro video because I didn't use original install discs. The original disc that came with this iMac were not included, but that's not that bad. Let's just go through the setup assistant. It's pretty annoying, actually. I don't think I'm actually going to be able to complete it, but I actually forget why. It said it was optional. Mac G3 Blueberry. Ah, right. The password, my generic password that I use for all my computers, doesn't meet the terms. It says it can't contain more than 8 characters. Why would it limit the amount of characters you could use? The more characters, the more secure. I'm going to type in my password and verify that it doesn't work. Too long. Yeah. Alright, let's eject this disk. Got it. Alright. I'd say that this guy is set up. Well, actually, still got to adjust some settings. Appearance. Blueberry Oxygen. This is the original theme. Platinum sounds. Of course. MSG3 default. With sounds. There we go. All up and running. Sweet, though. This thing is... ow! 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 Ooh, that hurts. Ow. I just squished my fingernail. Ugh. Ugh. Well, we're done. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. I own an original iMac now. This is a sweet computer. I'm definitely going to get a lot of use out of this guy. I'm glad everything went well for once and I didn't have any issues, except for not being able to upgrade the RAM. But there was already plenty of that. Anyways, I'll see everybody next time. Thanks for watching.